Hello everyone, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to be talking about how I organize my Black Tower raids and my Vortex Temple raids, and basically how I run my guild in the aspect of raiding. So I use Google Documents, which as you can see here, googledocs.com. And then I have a very extensive rules and regulations, blah, 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 blah. And then I have, character name. They have to fill out their Discord name, their class, their server, what raid they're selecting. I currently run 3 Black Tower raids and 1 Vortex Temple raid. And then, what time they prefer. Then I have, their parse. I have a video here made from Evil Do Us Harm, where he explains what a parse is. And then after they know how to do a parse, they'd have to do a parse and then let me know how much DPS they have. Then finally, they need to post proof of their parse in the Discord. So, this is my very basic application sheet where people apply for Black Tower. So after they apply, I'm going to come to responses. As you can see, for this week's Black Tower, I currently have 39 applications. And then I would click this button over here, View Responses in Sheets. So when I click on that, it's going to open this page. So this page over here, first I need to update this. It is currently week 20. But after I update that, so you'll see that everyone who has applied, all their information is going to be here. All 39 of them are all going to be here. So, it's going to tell me their class, what server they're on, what time they want to raid, etc. Their Discord name, all that jazz. And then I take this and then I organize teams for each raid. So for example, we can come over here, Friday's raid. So we can see here on Friday's raid, I have the DPS written down on the right side. The main reason why I need to know their DPS is because in certain bosses on Black Tower, especially if you're not well geared, for example, the second boss in Black Tower, when you go into Soulsep, the Soulsep team needs to have a certain amount of DPS in order to kill the boss, so that they don't die in soul separation, basically. And having the actual numbers and knowing how much DPS each person does, it makes my job easier to set the teams, like team 1, team 2, and what each team does. So, that's why I have DPS over here. Then I have the classes, whatever class they are, and then their names. So, because I'm very familiar with Friday's raid, which is my Team 1, as well as Saturday's raid, which is Team 2, I don't really need to look at DPS anymore, because I know each player. There's 24 players, not including myself. I subtract 2, so there's 22 players that I know already. I know how much DPS they have, I know what class they play, I know what playstyle they do, and so it's very easy for me to do team organization. It's nice to have 2 soul burns and 2 blue buffs, because that increases your DPS by quite a bit. And that's what I do to make a roster. I just make sure that every team has a very high chance of clearing all the way to Raven King. So as you can see here on my Friday raid and Saturday raid, the 2 raids that I run have 100% chance clear for Raven King, because we have more than enough damage and everyone here is quite familiar with the mechanics. And then as for our Sunday raid is more of a learning raid where people have more chances to practice, especially for newcomers that have slightly lower DPS. They come in here, they practice, and then they learn how to do the dungeon properly. But I'm sure most of you aren't here to look at my Black Tower raids or how I organize them. Most people are probably here to watch how I organize my Vortex Temple raids. So let's go over here to Vortex Temple. So currently Vortex Temple we're on our 7th week. And you can see that it is more or less the same copy pasta from my Black Tower questionnaire. However, I just made a few changes in the rules saying that, you must have 80k DPS or above. However, I prioritize 100k, blah, blah, blah. So let's go straight into the sheet, Vortex Temple sheet over here. So as you can see over here, this is our current team composition. So, we have 2 gunners, 2 force masters, 1 warlock, 2 summoners, 2 soul fighters, an assassin, a destroyer, and a kung fu master. However, this is not the most ideal team composition over here, mainly because, we lack a grab for the mini bosses. For the mini bosses on the way to the second boss, to the Great Thrall, it's required to have 2 grabs. So at the moment, what we do is our assassin will play his assassin all the way until the mini boss, and then he will switch over to a Blade Dancer, which is his ult, and then we will have 2 grabs, a Destroyer grab and a Blade Dancer grab. And then after we finish that mini boss, he'll switch back to his assassin, and then we go do the Great Thrall. So that's what we do. However, this isn't like the most ideal team composition. Like, preferably we would like to have like a Blade Master, and then we'd like to have 2 blue buffs and 2 soul burns. But overall we're still doing okay. So this composition has worked for us for, in SK, as well as Vortex Temple Boss 1 and 2. So, this is just how we will continue to run things for now. This was just a sort of a video just to see like behind the scenes of like how I organize things and how I manage my raids. But anyway, if there's any questions you guys have, please let me know in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer them, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!
What can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the rest.